Today we're checking out the RockJock rear track bar relocation bracket for a 1+ inch lifted 2021 and newer Bronco. If you've lifted your Bronco and you want your rear suspension to feel right again, this is one of those upgrades that makes a lot of sense. It's not the flashiest part on the truck, but it can play a big role in helping everything work the way that it should after changing your ride height, so it's definitely worth considering. This bracket is designed to correct your rear suspension geometry after you've lifted your Bronco, and that's a bigger deal than a lot of people realize. Once you lift a Bronco, even by a relatively small amount like 1 inch, the rear axle can shift and the track bar angle changes, which can affect how planted and how predictable the vehicle feels. This bracket helps bring back that geometry into a better operating range, which can improve the way the Bronco tracks down the road and behaves over bumps. That is especially useful for owners who split their time between daily driving and weekend trail use, because you want the truck to feel stable on the highway without giving up that off-road capability. It is one of those supporting mods that helps the rest of your suspension setup do its job better. So if you've already spent the money on a lift and you want the Bronco to drive more like it should, this is the kind of part that helps tie the entire package together. It may not stand out visually or be the craziest mod out there, but from a function standpoint, it's the kind of upgrade that can make the lifted setup feel more complete. When it comes to this construction, you are getting heavy duty steel built to handle suspension load and stress. That's going to be important on a part like this because it needs to hold up under daily driving, articulation, and off-road abuse without flexing where it should not. It's made to be strong, dependable, and a durable long-term suspension correction. As far as the pricing goes on this, it's coming in right in the mid 100 range. That's gonna be a very reasonable price in my opinion for a suspension correction part like this, especially when you think about how it can help refine the feel of a lifted Bronco without stepping into a much bigger and more expensive suspension overhaul. When it comes to the install on this, it's getting rated a simple 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, and you can have this job done in 1 hour of your time. Now, let's see exactly how this install process goes with a quick video from one of our ExtremeTerrain customers.
All right, the tools I use for this are the 13 millimeters. Those are for your brake line bracket and the brake line bolts. Then I use 19 millimeters. Those are for the smaller bracket bolt. I used both open inside of them because you're not going to be able to fit a socket on the other side. The 24 millimeter is for the factory bolt and the supplied new bolt for the track bar. You're going to use that. I used the 24 millimeter deep socket for the other side of the track bar bolt. For the smaller bolt, I used the 19 millimeter deep socket. And for the brake line bolts or nuts, I used a 13 millimeter, which is the one from the RockJock bolt and nut. It is a 13 millimeter. The stock bolt on the Bronco for the brake line is a 10 millimeter, and I used a 1/2 inch socket for that. The torque wrench is for to set all the torque values for all the nuts. The torque gun is not needed. It is helpful to zip them on and off real fast. I just used it to get them on and off faster, then use the torque wrench to torque them down to spec.
All right, what we're gonna do today, we're gonna put a track bar relocation bracket on. Pretty simple. First step we're gonna do, we're gonna disconnect this bracket for the brake line, and that is a 10 millimeter bolt. So we're gonna grab our 10 millimeter, break that loose real fast. Now that we got that off, we're gonna go ahead and put our supplied bracket on to the brake line bracket using our supplied 13 millimeter bolts and nut. Go ahead and use my 13 millimeter open end. All right, we're gonna go ahead and torque that down to spec. This bolt requires 17 feet-pound of torque. Grab a torque wrench. Holding the other side with the 13mm open end. Actually, I'm probably gonna, so I'm not trying to sit there and hold it, attach it to the axle with the stock 10mm bolt before I try to torque it down, instead of sitting there trying to hold it. Oh, no, I'm not going to be able to do that because I will not be able to have my wrench on the back side holding, or can I? Let's try it. Back this 10mm out, the stock one, a little bit so I can get my wrench in there. There we go, 17 feet-pound, or foot-pound, however you want to say it. Now we're going to torque this one down to the same 17 foot-pound of torque using a 10mm. Tighten down the factory bolt. There we go. A reason why you want to get this bracket in place before you start undoing all this, I'm just foreseeing that there probably won't be enough room because the bracket is going to go right here, so I don't want to be trying to get my socket back there to tighten these and to torque it down with the bracket in the way. So I went ahead and just put on that first. Alright, going to use my 24mm impact gun on this just to get it out fast. You are going to reuse that factory bolt. Alright, now what I'm going to do is the supplied sleeve that comes with all this in the box. You're going to use that. It's going to go in the middle, and your factory stock bolt is going to run through there at the factory location. So try to get that best aligned as I can. You're not going to want to push this bolt all the way through because the nut has a keeper on the backside from keeping it spinning, so you don't have to put a wrench back there. So just before you place the bolt all the way through, put your nut on the back end of it, and you can push it through and start tightening up. Alright, I'm going to leave it loose in place while I get everything else. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the supplied nut bolt and 2 washers. The keeper washer that has like a little ledge on it, it's going to go on the back side. You're going to put your bolt with the washer through. Again, you don't want to push it all the way through because there's limited space on the back side. And you can go ahead and start running that in. Alright, now that we've got that in place, we're going to install the bolt for our track bar. Again, don't push that bolt all the way through because there is limited space because of the brake line bracket on the other side. Just gonna go ahead, we'll go that into place. Make sure you got enough room to put the bolt on the back side. I'm gonna use my 24mm open-ended side to hold the nut in place. I'm gonna use my impact to tighten this down, not too torque, but just gonna get it snug and then torque it down to spec. I'm gonna grab my torque wrench and torque that down to spec. From Rock Auto, or not Rock Auto, from RockJock, it says to torque it down to 180 foot-pound of torque. Open-ended 19 to hold the bolt in place. Go ahead and snug this up. Alright, snugged up. Get that one down to spec. And go ahead and use my impact just to snug it up a bit. Switch back over to my torque wrench, and that factory bolt is going to be set at 159. So all these bolts that you're going to torque down, you're going to have to do them from the front. There is not any room for this bolt on the back side to get a torque wrench, or on this bolt to get a torque wrench on the other side. So they're all going to be torqued down from the front. The factory bolt, remember, it has that keeper, so you won't have to hold the nut in place. All you got to do is put your torque wrench on there, torque it down, and it's good to go.
That's going to wrap up our review and install of the RockJock rear track bar relocation bracket for a 1+ inch lifted 2021 and newer Bronco. And for all things Bronco, keep it right here at Extreme Terrain.